So we've got a 35-foot polytunnel here on our small holding in West Wales. We're on really hard ground here. Everything's sort of built on shale, which means that we can't plant a huge amount of stuff straight in the ground. So everything's in raised beds. When those raised beds kind of heat up, the water evaporates really quickly, and so we're relying on lots and lots of water to stop stuff cooking, I suppose. It's just me and my wife, but we like to be as self-sufficient as possible, so we try and rotate things really heavily throughout the year. We've got lots of tomatoes at the moment, starting to take off, chili plants, onions that have recently got in. We are in the start of June, so everything's just starting to come to life, and yeah, a bit of everything. In the winter, it's a really different story in here. It will be leeks, onions, kale, and brassicas. We try and make use of the space, I suppose, to avoid going to the supermarket so much. I think with tomatoes, what we've learned is that you have to water right down to the roots. True also of cucumbers that have long tap roots. And when you're watering by hand, it's very easy to just soak the soil on top and think that you've done a good enough job, but in reality they start wilting. And so having the Watermate on means that we can run it for a certain amount of time, give it a really good soak. I think setting up Watermate, there's definitely a design process involved. It's up to you how you go about it. When we first got it 2 or 3 years ago, we had overhead irrigation, and so from the pump the water would travel off of the barn, which is 20 meters away or so, through the pump, and then go into overhead lines and sprinkle from above. What we learned is that everything stays a little bit more damp and moist, and so there's risk of fungal diseases. Also, a lot of the water just sprays off of the beds with this sort of setup. So we moved everything to be, what you'd call it, ground irrigation, I suppose, that sits on top. So it's been a learning curve, but we don't mind experimenting with it. We like having the flexibility to do what we want. Yeah, I think there's plenty of great information on the website, and you guys are really good when it comes to customer service. The other day I timed how long it takes to water everything by hand, because our water butt had recently dried up because we've had a big sunny spell, and it was about 20 minutes. And so that twice a day, adds up. And whilst it's a therapeutic and quite mindful exercise, it's nice having the peace of mind when you go away for the weekend or you go away on holiday that the watering's being taken care of for you. So over the last 3 years, saved a huge amount of time on it. I totally recommend Watermate to other people. I think you have to be up for mucking in with the tech side of it. There's a bit of a process in learning the app and learning how long you want it to water for and when and what's right for your setup. I think you need a little bit of patience, but it certainly pays off to invest in that time. Having greenhouses and polytunnels, you're always a bit concerned when you tend to go away on holiday, and you invest that time in the setup and the design of the system, the sort of reap the rewards a bit later. Yeah, and if you're trying to be a bit more conscious of your water use and want to collect water from roofs and things and water butts, then there's no real competition there.
Yeah.
Short of walking around the watering can for a lot of the day.